What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully today is going to be a bit of a fun video and educational. If you guys haven't figured out, it's that time of the month. Stop that. No, not that time of the month, okay? It's Monster Bass. The reason I say hopefully this will be a fun and educational video is because here in Arkansas, for a lot of the school systems, we are either in spring break or next week we will start spring break. And hopefully next weekend I will be able to fish in a tournament with my brother. Hopefully this time I will be able to get it all on video. Last time me and my oldest brother, we went and fished this tournament, and I didn't have any of my camera gear or anything. We placed third in that tournament. Hopefully this time I'll be able to have my camera gear and stuff. So with that being said, if you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click on the bell, click all, so every time I put out a video, you guys will get notified of it. Also, leave comments, ask questions, things like that, and please share the video. Sharing the video will help my channel grow, and I really would love to help this channel grow. So if you can, guys, please do that for me. Whenever I check some of my statistics on stuff, I see that a lot of people who view my videos are not subscribers. So I greatly appreciate those that actually watch these videos, but if you could also please subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Go ahead and jump into it. We got our Monster Bass bag. That was one of the things that Monster Bass started out to do, was to set themselves apart from the other companies. At the time Monster Bass came out, there was Mystery Tackle Box, and then you had Lucky Tackle Box. They were all a subscription-based tackle, but I want to say Monster Bass, I never tried Monster Bass or Lucky Tackle, I believe was the other one. I never tried any of those, but I guess you could say they were like the cookie cutter style when it came to tackle subscription, meaning each box you got a certain amount of lures and different styles and things like that, but sometimes the lure you got was not really specific to the area that you're fishing. So you might end up with a bunch of lures that wasn't really going to do a whole lot for you, whether that be the time periods that you're fishing in, you know, the different seasonal periods. Were you in the pre-spawn, you were in the middle of the spawn, were you post-spawn, whatever it may be. Sometimes you didn't get lures that was fitting all of those things for you, and so you ended up with a bunch of lures that wasn't really working for you. Monster Bass was different, because when you go in to pick your subscription, this one with the bag is their Platinum series, and they have different series, meaning you either have more or less baits within your package. The Platinum series comes with these reusable bait bags. Some previous bags were like this one, which is just the edges was all plastic. This one has more of a nylon edge on it. And some of their very first bags had the little strip on it where you could write on the bag what your baits are. You can still write on these bags. It was just those other bags had a specific spot where you could do it. And that was something that kind of set Monster Bass apart from that, was that all of your baits are coming in these reusable bags. So you can use these, put your little bit of terminal tackle in there, a couple of lures, and then throw this in a backpack and take it down to a local pond or something like that. Or if you're like me, you will throw a lot of your favorite soft plastics and things in these bags, and then when you throw those in your boat, when you know that you need to grab out your worms, you can go straight to that bag and get that worm, and you're not flipping through a binder or something trying to find the worms that you want. So that was one of the things that made Monster Bass very different. Another thing is this booklet that comes with your Monster Bass subscription. It has a guide about the lures that's in your bags, some of the tips from the pros that Monster Bass has collaborated with on certain, locations, conditions, and things of that nature on throwing some of these lures, how to rig them, the different retrieves. You get all of that information in these bags. Plus you get some of the lunar phases and stuff like that, so you can plan out your fishing trips to try to have more success on the water. So that was one cool thing. Cool stickers. Monster Bass always has cool stickers that come in their bags. And then you have this golden ticket that's actually orange, but whatever. On Wednesdays on YouTube, Monster Bass does a live video. If you're watching that video and they call out the number on your ticket, you win prizes. So that's another cool thing that Monster Bass does that I'm assuming was not done by the other companies. I haven't seen a lot of people do the mystery tackle box videos. It was really big when I first got into doing my YouTube stuff. I haven't seen a lot of those videos here lately. I think I have seen the mystery tackle boxes that you can go into Academy Sports and buy them. But Monster Bass was the one that I settled on. And so far, I am really pleased with what I get. I've got a wall full of baits now, and some of these baits I probably would have went in a tackle store and would have never bought them. And then the cool thing about this is when you get a couple of these, and as I said, behind the camera here, I have a wall with some of my tackle on there. Some of these baits now, if I get ready to go fishing or if I'm about to go do a tournament or something, and there's certain baits that I want, I don't even have to go to the store. I can look on my wall, and I've got these baits that I can choose from. So it is a cool way to build up a quick tackle supply without having to go out and spend so much money at the tackle stores. These bags run you roughly around, I want to say $35 to $40 for the subscription. I could be wrong on that price, but when you look at some of these baits, and I believe Monster Bass compare the baits they put in here, the pricing on Tackle Warehouse, and then you will see the value of what you're getting in here for a much cheaper price. So that's another good reason why you should get on with this Monster Bass. I will leave a link down in the description box for you guys to click on that and go over there and get signed up. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to open up my book, see what we got, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, so here in the book, let's see. So right here we're talking about crossing the right bait for pre-spawn. They're talking about different crankbaits. You got flat side crankbait, medium diving crankbait, lipless crankbaits, and shallow running crankbaits. So I look in my box here, or my bag, excuse me, look in my bag, and we have the Monster Bass Seeker 6. It's Monster Bass's very own unique little crankbait. I'm going to try to kill this light a little bit, okay, so you guys can see that. Okay, nice bluegill looking color, and the color on the box here, this color name is bluegill. So it's a nice little shallow running crankbait, dives down to 4 to 6 feet deep, it weighs ½ ounce. Remember, when you're dealing with crankbaits, jerk baits and things of those natures, depending on your line size is also going to determine how deep you're going to get this. So if this says it runs 4 to 6 feet deep, to get down to that 6 feet, I would probably throw this with 10-pound fluorocarbon. Now, if you can see on your graphs that you've got some grass down there on the bottom and you don't want to get bogged down in that grass, either your rod positioning will help keep it up above that grass, or even bump up your line from, say, that 10-pound to maybe 12-pound test line, and that might help keep that bait right above that grass, just ticking off the top of that grass. And if there's any fish that's hiding down in that grass, they're going to come up and get this just coming over the top of that grass So again, Monsterbass lures, especially anything with treble hooks, they're known for the red treble hook right there. That red is to imitate a wounded bait fish that's bleeding. So it's kind of one of their, I guess say trademarks with a lot of their baits is they have those red treble hooks. Good spot for throwing crankbaits, as I just mentioned, grass. Riprap is a good spot. Points, throwing it around docks, rocks, and trees. So really good spots to throw these. Whatever your favorite cranking setup is. I believe I watched videos years ago with Kevin Van Dam, and he was saying he likes to throw his crankbaits with a 5-to-1 gear ratio reel. And the reason for that is if you have a high-speed reel and you're reeling that thing and you're burning it, well, by the time your lure dives down to that maximum depth, you've probably burned through most of your fishing area. So then as you get down to that maximum depth where the fish should be, you're already coming back up on that incline. And that's because you have too fast of a reel and you're just burning it. But if you have that 5-to-1 gear ratio, what I like to call your slow speed or your slow gear ratio reels, you can't really overwork it, because as fast as you're turning that reel, it's only going to spin as fast as it's designed to. So that's going to help you. It's going to force you to slow down your retrieve, but then it's going to keep your bait in that strike zone just a little bit longer to hopefully get you some more bites. This one, we're talking about spoons for March bass. And in this bag here, I keep wanting to say box, we have this little spoon here from Lunker Hunt. The color of this is called Fire Tiger, and it's a 1/4 ounce. You could probably get away with throwing this on a bait caster, but I would probably want to throw this on a spinning setup. I'd probably have to take this out and try it a couple of times on a bait caster to see how well it works. And like I said, just looking at it from the size, I would probably throw this on a spinning reel. But still, an awesome bait to use. Throw it out there, let it kind of flutter down, maybe snap it up, let it flutter back down. So this should trigger a lot of bites. One spot you can throw this: on ledges, brush piles, open water, points, and rocks. Okay, this is saying why scooping works. Not really sure what they're talking about when they're talking about scooping. Oh, scoping. I am sorry. Scoping. I misread that. It's talking about scoping. Okay, if you don't know what scoping is a term that's been used here recently by the pros when they've talked about using live scope. Your forward-facing sonar is what they're talking about when they're saying scoping. So we're talking about scoping, which on my boat I do not have forward-facing sonar of any kind. So we're talking about little lures like this one from 6 Cents. This is called their Fiction Shad. It's a 2.8. This color is called Ghost Pro Shimmer. But these small little baits, and basically as you're out there and you're looking around on your forward-facing sonar, you're scanning, and let's say you can spot one that's sitting in a tree that's out there, and you throw out to that fish, and again you're watching him on your live scope, and you're just working that minnow. This technique has won so many tournaments as of the last few years. I know Major League Fishing, as far as the Bass Pro Tour, I think Major League Fishing as a whole, and this year even the Bassmaster Elite, they had to rework the way they use their live scope, because for one, and as a fan, it didn't really bother me. So give me a second. Okay, so as a fan of fishing, the live scope stuff didn't really bother me. I didn't mind watching the videos and seeing the guys staring down at their graphs and all of that stuff. But a lot of the people were saying that the anglers were so sucked into their graphs that it was taken away from the fishing as far as a spectator's point of view. Nobody wanted to see the back of the angler's head or their backs as they're staring down at their graphs and stuff. So as far as Bass Pro Tour, they have to pick before they do their lines in and they can start fishing. They have to let their boat official know, yes, I am going to use my live scope in this period. No, I'm not going to use my live scope. They have to make that known before that period starts. And then once they've used their live scope, they have to lock it up and they're not allowed to use it at all for the rest of the tournament. If they do, it is a penalty. And there have been a lot of people that were saying like, oh, they can't win if they don't have the live scope. There have been several tournaments that have been won with the live scope and without the live scope. So again, I don't have live scope. I would love to have it. I just don't have it. But you know, I can't really speak to live scope fishing because I don't have one. But what I have seen from the pros when I watch these tournaments, just because you see the fish doesn't mean they're going to get in your boat. But what it has done, and what I've heard a lot of the pros talk about, is a lot of the things growing up, learning how to fish, learning patterns, learning behaviors and things of that nature. We were wrong about some of that stuff because like I've learned that during those winter months, you wouldn't find fish up shallow on the banks because they've all went back out deep. With live scope, we've learned that that's not true. There are some fish that still live up shallow even in the winter months. We've also learned that certain areas that is a big structure such as a tree that you would normally say, hey, that's going to be a prime spot for fish. But with live scope, you're actually able to look at that tree under the water in live time and see there's no fish. So now you're not wasting 20, 30 minutes of your tournament time fishing around this tree when there's no fish there anyways. So there is the good and there is the bad. The ones that can learn how to use this new technology and use their old school fishing skills and blend those together, those are the ones that are having the most success because they're not solely dependent on one method of fishing. They are well versed and able to fish with their live scope. They're able to go out there and beat up the banks and fish old school style and still catch a bag of fish. So I'm gonna leave it with that as far as the scoping stuff goes. Okay, and then that was all they had in the book as far as the lures in the bag. Now we're going to talk about these other baits. So sometimes we get terminal tackle. So here we have some wacky Nico hooks, size 2, mustad fishing hooks. I would probably fish these. You could fish them with these Yamamoto baits right here. These are their yam shad. Looks like 3.5. So these are also for scoping, and they're called 3.5 scope shads. So a lot of these new plastics have stuff in them that helps help them be more detected on your live scope, so that way you can track your bait a little bit easier, get it down there to the fish, work that lure in front of those fish to draw those bites with the help of some of these baits that you can see a little bit better. And then we have another Lunker Hunt. This is called Lunker Hunt Hive, and this is the Hive Versatode. Cool little bait that you could probably throw and work it as a topwater lure. And it has these little flanges on the legs, from what I can see, to do a lot of water displacement and stuff like that, cause a lot of commotion. So it is a floating plastic, so you know, throw it weightless and again just work it on the top. This color is called Watermelon Red Fleck Pearl Belly. So on the top you have this cool watermelon color and you can see the red flakes in there, and then on the bottom it has this pearl color. So that's a very interesting bait. I bet you I can catch something on that. I'm gonna give that a try. And last but not least, one of my favorites, Strike King Thunder Cricket. It's their vibrating jig, and this is a fire crawl. Of course, in the springtime, you got the crawfish that are out there in some of these lakes, and bass are feeding up heavily on them because we are in that pre-spawn period. And so the fish are going to be feeding up heavy, getting ready for that spawn, making beds, laying babies, doing all of those things. This is a good way of triggering lots of bites. Make sure you put some kind of trailer on there. Either match the color with the trailer, or sometimes kind of go with a mismatch of colors to give them something different to look at, and you might draw more bites that way. So again, I'm going to throw some of these on some rod and reels and get ready for this tournament that's coming up next weekend. And hopefully I will get that video out for you guys. And I'm hoping that we get it a good place. You know, last time, like I said, me and my brother, we actually caught a limit of fish. So I was excited for that. This time I'm hoping to get it all on camera, bring you guys along with us for the tournament, and hopefully we can repeat that, get another bag of fish. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for tuning in and watching the Monsterbass for the month of March. I hope you guys are getting out there, getting some fishing in. I know I'm going to be getting out there really soon. As I said, next weekend I'm hitting Lake Hamilton in Arkansas. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys out there. If not, again, hit that subscribe button, click on the bell, make sure you click all so that way you get notified when I do a video. If you've liked this video, please smash that thumbs up button, drop me comments, let me know you like the videos, what other kind of videos do you want to see me do, and please share this video. That's all I have. Thank you so much. Catch you guys on the next video, and see you in the great outdoors.